The house felt strange that evening. You could hear muffled voices behind your sister's locked door. Your parents trying, pleading. You knew what it was about. Everyone in the family did, but you weren't allowed in. They said you were too young to understand such matters, too innocent, too soft. Basically, they think you're stupid. So you sat in the kitchen instead, legs swinging from the stool, a half read novel open on the counter. You were trying to read, but the air was heavy, thick with whispers and worry. That's when you heard it, the familiar, hesitant voice at the front door. Hello, Auntie? Is everyone home? You smiled, you knew that voice. Jungkook, you called softly, peeking your head from the kitchen. He turned, tall, with that shy, uncertain smile that made you want to protect him from everything cruel in the world. He was holding a bouquet of lilies, tied messily. You waved him in. Come here, come here. Everyone is busy upstairs. He walked into the kitchen, eyes darting around as if afraid he was trespassing. Um, I brought these for Ria, he said quietly, holding out the flowers like a little boy offering an apology. You tilted your head, pretending to think, for Ria? Again? You keep bringing her flowers like she's a garden. He blushed, that same soft pink that climbed up his neck. She likes them. At least she used to. You grinned, teasing. Aw, you really like her, don't you? He looked down, scratching his ear nervously. She's very pretty. He whispered, then looked up with that innocent smile. And she talks nicely. Sometimes. You couldn't help laughing. Sometimes, oh Jungkook, you're so funny. He smiled a little too, his eyes shining like a child being praised. Then his gaze turned toward the stairs. They're all talking in her room, right? Did something happen? You shrugged, pretending not to care, but your voice softened. They don't tell me anything, just send me here like always. Maybe they are convincing her, maybe she doesn't want to marry you. He blinked, confused. Why not? Did I do something wrong? Your heart squeezed, his voice was so small, so scared, you wanted to hug him right there. Maybe she thinks you are stupid. His expression turned a bit of anger. It always happens when you call him stupid. Stupid? I'm not stupid. You made him sit on the chair. I know, I know. You are very nice. I'm just kidding. He glared at you. You watched him for a moment, the way he fidgeted, his lips twitching nervously, then smiling playfully, you asked, By the way, Jungkook, did you buy something for me too? He looked up instantly, eyes wide, completely lost. For you? No, I mean, should I have? You giggled. I'm kidding, you look like I just asked you to buy me a house. He let out a breath, smiling shyly again. Oh, I thought I forgot something. Babu. You said, hitting his head lightly while he rubbed it, and then the door upstairs slammed open. You both turned, your sister Ria stormed down the stairs, her eyes red, her face cold. She looked furious, almost disgusted. Jungkook's eyes lit up instantly like a child seeing the sun after rain. He stood up straight, fixing his shirt. Ria, he said, voice trembling but full of warmth, I brought you flowers. She glanced at them once, then at him, and walked past as if he didn't exist. Your smile faded. The silence she left behind felt heavier than any words. Jungkook's smile faltered slowly, wilting like the flower in his hand. Your parents came out a moment later, your father rubbing his forehead, your mother forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Jungkook, son? She began softly. Ria isn't feeling well. Maybe we can talk later. But Jungkook wasn't listening. He was staring at the door she had just walked out of, his lips parting. You couldn't bear it. You reached out, gently tugging at his sleeve. Jungkook, you said softly, give me the flowers. He blinked, confused. Why? They are for... I know. But I'll give them to her, okay? She'll take them from me. He hesitated, then nodded slowly, handing them over. The ribbon now loose, one petal already falling. Okay, he said softly, eyes down. You give them. She listens to you more. You smiled, not your usual bright one, but the kind that hides tears behind it. Yes, I'll make sure she gets them. You don't have to worry about that. But you have to get me chocolates in return. Vian, your mom called from behind. You smiled awkwardly. I'm just joking. I don't need anything, okay, Jungkook? He nodded again, still watching the door, and whispered almost to himself. She'll come back, right? Your father walked near him, placing a hand on his shoulder. She will come back, don't worry. He forced a smile. Okay, I'm going home now. Your parents nodded while you waved, almost dropping the flowers. Jungkook panicked. It's fine. It's fine. You were in the living room munching on the snacks brought for guests, but there was a lot of tension upstairs. Your father's angry voice, your mother's pleading, and Ria shouting. A few minutes earlier, Jungkook's parents left the house in anger because Ria said something she shouldn't have. Your stomach twisted. Something had gone terribly wrong. You hesitated for a second, then started climbing the stairs. Halfway up, you heard your father shout, Ria, stop being unreasonable. I'm not being unreasonable, she yelled back. I just can't do this. You froze at the doorway, the book still in your hand. Your mother's angry voice echoed through the house. Ria, this is not the time to throw tantrums. You have embarrassed us enough already. Mom, please, stop shouting. I'm not marrying him. That's final. Your father's voice followed, deep and furious. Do you have any idea what you have done? Jungkook's parents left this house in shame. How will I ever face them again? Ria groaned. That's not my problem, Dad. I never wanted to marry him in the first place. You stepped closer to the door, heart racing. Your mother's voice broke. Then why did you say yes, Ria? Why did you make us believe you were happy? Why did you smile when they brought sweets? Why? Because you all kept pressuring me. Everyone was acting like it was such a perfect match that I should feel lucky he likes me. But I don't. I don't like him, okay? I was tired of him. That Jungkook, that duffer, that stupid boy wouldn't stop following me. He and his childish nonsense. I said yes just to shut everyone up. I didn't think you would actually fix it. Your father slammed his hand on the dresser. Enough, Ria. You flinched, and before you could stop yourself, you pushed the door open. Ria, don't call him a duffer. Everyone turned to you. You stepped forward hesitantly, clutching the book. I mean, yes, he's a little slow, and he acts like a kid sometimes. But he's not that bad. He's sweet. He'll buy you flowers every day. She laughed bitterly. So what? I don't need flowers every day. I need a partner who understands me, not someone I would have to explain everything to like a child. Your chest tightened. That's cruel, Ria. You shouldn't make fun of someone's disabilities. God made everyone for a reason. Cruel? She says, stepping closer to you. You think I'm cruel? Then you marry him, Ryan, since you think he's perfect. You blinked confused. What? What are you saying? She smirked faintly, but her eyes were wet. She smirked bitterly, crossing her arms. You heard me. There's hardly any difference between you and him. Both of you live in your own little world, immature, clueless, slow. Your mother's voice trembled. Enough, Ria. But Ria didn't stop. She stepped even closer, her voice dripping with mockery. Tell me, don't you think so? She's just like him. She doesn't even understand when people are mocking her. She would be a better match for him than me. You felt the sting of tears in your eyes, but you held your ground. I may be immature, but at least I have a heart, and Jungkook does too. You never cared to see it. That silenced her for a moment. Then she scoffed, shaking her head. You really think that makes you better than me? Your father suddenly slammed his hand on the table. Enough, Ria. Everyone went quiet. He looked at her, eyes burning with disappointment. Do you even hear yourself? How can you speak like that about your own sister, about a man who loves you genuinely, who has done nothing wrong? You're insulting him for being innocent and her for being kind. Ria's lips trembled, but she stood tall. Say whatever you want, Dad, but I'm not marrying that mentally challenged duffer, and that's final. Ria, your father's voice thundered. Watch your tone. Why should I? You all care more about what people will say than about your own daughter's happiness. I'm not some puppet you can hand over to that fool. Your mother gasped. Enough, Ria. But Ria's eyes filled with angry tears. I'm leaving. I can't do this. Ria, don't you dare walk out. Your father started, but she shoved past him, tears running down her face. The door slammed so hard the walls trembled. You stood there frozen, staring at the doorway she had just left. You whispered quietly, almost to yourself. She shouldn't have said those things. He's not what she thinks, and I'm not stupid either. Your father looked at you sadly. She'll regret the way she spoke one day, but by then it might be too late. And deep down you knew he was right, because the boy your sister had rejected so easily was the same boy who had looked at her like she hung the stars. The John house had never felt so quiet. The laughter that usually filled the dining room was gone. The servants moved softly, afraid to make noise. Even the clock ticking on the wall felt loud. In the living room, Jungkook's mother sat with her hands in her lap, staring blankly at the floor. Her eyes were swollen, her lips pressed into a trembling line. Her husband sighed, sitting beside her. You should eat something. You have been sitting here for hours. She shook her head. How can I? How can I eat when everything just fell apart like this? Please, it's not your fault. These things happen. She turned to him sharply, tears welling up again. Happen? You call this something that happens? That girl said yes. We made all the preparations. Everyone knows about this marriage. Our relatives, our friends, our employees. What will I say now? That she changed her mind overnight? He rubbed his forehead. It's better she said no now than after the wedding. But what about Jungkook? Her voice cracked. What will I tell him? He'll ask why she said no. And what do I say? That she found him childish? That she mocked him? How do I say that to my son? Her husband sighed. We'll handle it gently. You know how sensitive he is. We'll tell him it just didn't work out. She stood up suddenly, pacing the floor. No. He'll see it in our faces. He'll know something is wrong. Her voice trembled. He's not foolish, just pure-hearted. That's what hurts the most. He'll blame himself. He reached for her hand. We'll talk to him in the morning. He's in his room right now. She stood weakly. I hope he's asleep. He shouldn't hear any of this. But Jungkook wasn't asleep. Just a few steps down the hallway, he stood frozen behind the wall. The very wall that separated him from the truth. His fingers gripped the edge of the doorway, his breath shallow. He had heard every word, every sigh, every tear. He stared blankly ahead, eyes burning. She said no. Ria said no. His mother's voice echoed in his head. She mocked him. He slowly backed away from the wall, the world blurring around him. His throat tightened, and for a moment he thought he might cry, but he didn't. He couldn't. He tried to remember what his father always said. Be a man, Jungkook. Handle things with maturity. So he straightened his shoulders, wiped the back of his hand across his eyes and walked toward the door. His mother's faint voice drifted behind him. I don't know how he'll take it, but he was already gone. It was raining outside when Ria arrived. The cafe was quiet, the kind of place Jungkook always chose. Small, warm, with too sweet coffee and too many flowers near the window. He stood when she entered, his face lightening up with that familiar shy smile. He waved awkwardly as if unsure what to do with his hands. Ria, he said softly, you came. She crossed her arms. Don't get too happy. I didn't come because you called me. His smile faltered a little. Then why? She sighed. Because I wanted to make something clear. This is the last time we are meeting, Jungkook. He blinked confused. Last time? Why? Because there's nothing left to talk about. He stared down at his hands, voice trembling. But we are getting married, right? We should spend more time together. She laughed, making him look at her. She didn't stop laughing as if mocking him. Marriage? Do you know what marriage is about, Jungkook? He swallowed, trying to stay confident, although he understood he was being humiliated by her. I know everything. She stopped laughing and soon her expression turned serious. Then you must know you are not meant to get married. You will only ruin your partner's life. What are you saying? If you're mad, then I'm sorry, but I just wanted to ask, why did you say no? Did I do something wrong? She gave a short, bitter laugh. Wrong? You are asking what you did wrong? Jungkook, the whole idea of this marriage was wrong. He looked up slowly, his eyes round, childlike. You don't like me? She exhaled harshly, rolling her eyes. Like you? You really don't get it, do you? You are sweet, Jungkook, but you are not a man I could ever marry. He frowned quietly, but I thought you smiled that day when I gave you the bracelet. You said that it was cute. She interrupted. Yes, because you looked like a kid showing off his school project. But that doesn't mean I'll marry you and embarrass myself in front of the whole world. He froze. Her words hit like small knives. She leaned back, crossing her legs. Jungkook, look, you don't understand things like normal people do. You don't fit in. You still live in your little world where flowers and songs and promises mean something. But life doesn't work that way. He swallowed hard. I can change. She laughed sharply. Change, Jungkook? You can't change who you are. And honestly, you shouldn't try. But I can't build a life around someone who doesn't even know what life is. He blinked a few times, trying to process her words. So it's because I'm not smart enough? She looked at him for a long moment, then gave a small, cruel smile. Let's just say only a girl with no brain would marry you. He flinched. Don't look at me like that. You'll get over it. You'll find someone who'll think your childish ways are cute, but that someone will never be me. He stared at the table, his hands twisting together. I just wanted to make you happy. You can't even make yourself happy. She muttered, grabbing her purse. Goodbye, Jungkook, and please stop calling me. But Vian. Vian says I'm not stupid. I'm sweet. She turned to him and smiled, but not the kind one. Then ask her if she'll marry you. Saying that, she turned and walked away, rolling her eyes. He didn't move. For a long time, he just sat there, staring at the half empty coffee in front of him. The rain outside blurred everything like the world was crying for him. When he finally stood up, he tried to smile, but his lips shook too much. He took a deep breath, blinking back the tears, and whispered to himself, It's okay. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But his voice cracked, and for the first time, he realized he didn't even know what being fine meant anymore. The rain had quieted to a faint drizzle, the kind that made the world look softer, as if even the sky felt sorry. You walked down the street, clutching the grocery bag close to your chest. The air smelled of wet earth and coffee. Tiny puddles mirrored the dim street lights, and your umbrella trembled under the soft wind. You were halfway home when you saw him. At first, he was just a silhouette, someone sitting on the bench near the corner cafe. But then the light shifted and you saw his face. Jungkook? You whispered. He was drenched from head to toe, hair dripping into his eyes, clothes clinging to his frame. He wasn't even shivering, just still, like someone who didn't know where he was anymore. You dropped your bag on the bench and rushed toward him, opening your umbrella over his head. Jungkook, what are you doing here? You are soaked. He didn't answer. His gaze was fixed on the puddle near his shoes, watching the raindrops disturb its surface. You crouched beside him. Hey, talk to me. What happened? With whom did you come here? He blinked slowly, then lifted his face toward you, and your heart broke. There were tears in his eyes, real ones, the kind that don't fall fast but burn first. His lips trembled when he finally spoke. I'm really stupid, right? The words hit you like a cold gust. You shook your head immediately. No, you are not stupid. Who said that to you? He sniffed, lowering his eyes again. You are lying. You always say I'm a good boy, but I'm not. He swallowed hard, voice shaking. Ria. She said she won't marry me because she would be embarrassed. She said no girl would ever want to marry me. Your throat tightened, the rain whispered around you, soft, relentless. Jungkook? You murmured, searching for words that could hold his breaking heart. That's not true, okay? She's just angry. She doesn't mean it. He shook his head weakly, drops flying from his hair. She does. I know she does. She looked at me like I was wrong, like I'm not enough. He bit his lip hard, and she's right. I'm not smart like others. I don't understand things quickly. I talk too much. I mess up. I ruin everything. Before he could say another word, you reached out and held his shoulders, firm, grounding him. Jungkook, stop. Your voice trembled. You are not a loser. You are different. Yes, but different doesn't mean bad, you know? She calls me stupid too sometimes, but that doesn't make me stupid either. His wet lashes lifted slowly, eyes searching yours. My mom and dad say I'm just too nice, and that's what you are too. You are kind, you are honest, you mean everything you say, and that's rare, Jungkook. If she can't see that, then someone better will. Someone who'll be lucky to have you. The rain tapped lightly against your umbrella. He didn't move, didn't blink, just looked at you. For a long, long moment, it was silent, the kind of silence that carries something fragile, something unspoken. Then his lips parted, his voice was quiet, childlike, trembling but painfully sincere. Will you marry me? Your heart stopped. You froze, breath catching, eyes wide as you stared at him. His gaze didn't waver, not for a second. He wasn't joking. He wasn't even hoping for an answer. He was simply asking from that part of him that still believed love could fix things. Raindrops slid down his cheeks, mixing with the tears that refused to stop. And in that moment, under the half broken umbrella, with your hands still on his shoulders, you realized this was more than heartbreak. It was purity, the raw, unguarded love of someone who never learned to hide it. Your voice failed you, the world felt painfully still. Jungkook, you whispered, barely breathing his name, but before you could say anything more, a gust of wind blew the umbrella sideways, drenching you both. You blinked through the rain, heart pounding, eyes locked with his, and then fade to black.